Hello, it's time for another look at these vintage Gothic Romance paperbacks. The reason I like them is for the covers. I've said this in previous videos. I don't really think they're great books, but I thought I'd go through a few of the new additions to the collection. Starting with this one, which collectors might know is written by the author Dean Koontz, and when he was a struggling artist starting off his career as a writer, he wrote some of these romance novels under this name, Deanna Dwyer. These sell for ridiculous amounts of money on eBay. I'm quite pleased to have this quite nice condition copy of The Dark of Summer. It's the only one I've got by Deanna Dwyer. Cover's not that great, but I'm hanging on to this one just because of the rarity. Next, there's a couple more additions to the Ace Cameo. This is the first one in the Ace Cameo series called The Golden Fig. That's a really nice cover of a house. The story's not bad. It's a bit kind of period setting with horses and carts and stuff, which I don't really like. But the cover is nice. They all have the same back. They all have the same blurb on the back. This one hasn't got a house. This is Fear Among the Shadows by Louise Hoffman. Just a woman on a windswept cliff with waves crashing and an ominous sky. That's a nice cover, although I would have liked to see a house on it. That's number 2 in the series. Got number 20 in the series, which has a fantastic palatial mansion behind the heroine and some overgrown grass. That's quite nice. That's number 20, Girl in the Shadows by Zoa Sherburne. Yeah, I'll leave it to you to decide if these are real people. Same back cover. Oh, and we've seen that one before. So that's additions to the Ace cover. Then I picked up 3 of these British release ones on the Coronet, there's a label, but they're not records. Published by Coronet in the UK. You can get US copies of these, but these have all the same font, which I love. It's obviously OCD of me. If the font is the same, I'm in. The similarities between the pictures on the front is getting ridiculous low. But 3 really nice illustrations on those 3 Coronet Gothics. A few more additions to my favourite series, which is Popular Libraries. I really love these Popular Library covers. The Bewitching Grace is a nice one by Patricia Maxwell. Classic plantation style house in the background, and this lady who I swear has face I've seen before in different poses. That's The Bewitching Grace, obviously about voodoo. Haven't read that one yet. This is a beautiful cover. I've seen this twice in Popular Library. It's on A Chair for Death by Jennifer Roddock, but you might also see it flipped from left to right. There's a mirror image version on a book called Island of Silence, I think it is. Used the same cover. Still Popular Library, still Queen Size Gothic, but it's used on Island of Silence. I think that's what that one's called. Anyway, very pleased with that one. Ghost River Inn. This has also been used twice, flipped. I don't know the title of the other book that they used the same illustration of, but they mirror imaged it and used it on another book. But this is a nicer title. Ghost River Inn sounds very creepy. Cynthia Van Hazinga is a fantastic name for an authoress, sorry. Moon Garden. This is Jan Alexander, who's done a lot of Gothics. That's a pseudonym. I think it's Victor J. Bannis. Another colonial style house with columns and a kind of swampy garden setting. That's another one of those fat ones. Lots of pages there, but as usual, the font is huge. If you're an old maiden aunt and you can't read, nice big font for you there. Moon Garden. Then we've got House of Impostors. Again, this woman in this pose is repeated on loads of covers. I quite like this house design with this checker box effect on it. And that's Willow Davis Roberts, who's also written a lot of Gothics. They're not always on Popular Library. Willow Davis Roberts comes out under Lancer and Gothic, Lancer and Magnum Gothic. But that is a nice one. And then finally this one, The Devil's Gate by Arlene Fitzgerald. That's a beautiful cover. This lady in a red ball gown running away from a very nice house. I like that a lot. Good condition, and again, it's really pot luck with these Popular Library books. Sometimes they're rubbed and scuffed and ripped apart, but that's not too bad. That's a good addition to that one. Just a few more randos. This is a Pocket Library one, Guardian of Willow House. It's a bit of a drippy title and I don't particularly like it, but I do like that house. I've seen that house illustrated on another book called Beale Fontaine by Sally O'Brien. So someone's used the same stock image of a house and made a painting of it. This is the Dorothy Daniels cover that has it. That's a very thin book. There's 170 pages in that. And this one is a Willow Davis Roberts. That's a nice picture of a nighttime forest with a quite sturdy looking house in the background. That was quite fun actually. So yeah, and then a few more spares. This took me, I've been looking for this for a long time. It's only a minor publication on, I think that's Beagle. Heights of Haven Rest by Valerie Subon. This black and white image of this girl running on this very steep cliff, and then this creepy figure and a very cold looking house perched on the cliff top. I think that's a great image. Didn't cost much, but hardly ever for sale, but it's a nice copy. Here's another Avon, Gothic, House of Counted Hatreds by Susan Jennifer. This, I believe, is Walter Popp. That's the name of the illustrator. And according to online sources, he is renowned for ridiculous angles. That is such a dramatic angle of that house. And he obviously enjoyed painting like that. A nice image of the girl running away. Again, Avon tend to suffer from these rubbing off of the cover marks a lot. Other than that, it's a fairly nice copy. Two more. This is the Ace Gothic of Shroud of Fog. There's a lot of editions of Shroud of Fog, and this is the only cover I wanted. If you buy sight unseen from online booksellers, you risk getting any different cover design. This is the only one I really wanted because it's the most classic in its slavishly copying the style of the house and the lady running away in a nightgown by the looks of it. But that's Shroud of Fog in the best cover in my opinion, so I'm glad to get that. And we're finishing off with another Ace Gothic called Those Subtle Weeds, of which it's very hard to explain what that title is about. In the book, I think it's just the line out of a poem, but that's a great image. Again, that pose, I've seen that duplicated on many of these covers. There must be a stock image of a woman in that position running, and they just slap it on a new house every time. Classic plantation house, Spanish moss dripping from the trees. Weird, silly title. That's got everything. And that's it for now.